guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all really well, and welcome to a new video here on my channel. This is quite a, can be classed as quite a controversial one, but welcome to my what I won't be using second time round video. Now, just to like preface, is that the right word? This video, this isn't me throwing shade to any companies or anything like that. It's just stuff that didn't work for us and we're not going to use second time round. So much so I don't have the items here for you. I'm literally just going to put, when I'm talking about them, I'm going to put pictures on the screen of the items, and then obviously I'll be explaining why we're not using them. Because most of them we don't actually have anymore. So I'll explain more thoroughly, but I haven't managed to add it. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 8 items. It's quite a round number. That's quite good. And I haven't really managed to add any more. Maybe I could do. It'd be interesting once he's born. I could do a similar but different video. So these are items that we like won't be using, and I like wouldn't go and buy and wouldn't recommend using. And it'd be interesting if maybe I'd done a video of items like I thought I would use second time round but haven't ended up doing. Maybe I'll do that. But yeah, we've got 8 items here that I'm just not going to use again for baby boy number 2. But before we get into this video, please do consider subscribing to my channel. You can do so just underneath the video. Just click subscribe and click the notification bell for all my future uploads. Thank you so much if you go to do that. It is totally free and takes just a few moments, so thank you again. From my channel you can expect all things pregnancy, motherhood, toddlerhood, hauls, beauty, like day in the life. I always like go blank when I do this. And just like product reviews, first impressions, off my own back, not paid or sponsored, so it's my like truth. So yeah, I just wanted to share with you things that we had from Tommy that I wouldn't use second time round. Tommy is my 2.5-year-old, and baby boy number 2 is due mid-May, so that's why I thought this would be quite helpful and quite an interesting video. But yeah, let's get into it, and I will tell you the items and why I didn't like them. I've got them written down here just so I don't forget. So first up, we had a product called a Snoozer Hero, which is like a different version maybe of the owlet sock. It's not a sock, you clip it onto their nappy and it like senses their breathing, and if they stop breathing or like don't take a breath for a certain amount of time, an alarm goes off. We probably used it twice because we purchased it because obviously Tommy was in neonatal and he spent like most of those 4 weeks hooked up to a monitor to tell me he was breathing and to tell me his heart was beating and all of that. Obviously he had time off the monitor before he came home, but he was still monitored by nurses. So when he was home and we were like in bed, I was like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? So we bought this Snoozer Hero because the owlet was quite expensive. The Snoozer's still quite expensive, but it's cheaper. And we popped it on his nappy and it just wasn't great. It didn't always stay on, and you know, the alarm would go off but he'd still be breathing, and he would be breathing in the time that it said he should. So I just don't think it was very accurate, so we won't be using that again. I've actually put it on my Vinted page quite cheap, so like I wouldn't recommend paying full price, but if you want to buy it off my Vinted you can. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend it at all. I've put it on my Vinted for chance, and if it sells, it sells and it goes, so it's fine. Next up, I wouldn't use the Tommy Tippy electric sterilizer. It was just shocking. Like, we used it because we'd purchased it, but honestly it just gets so like the bit where you put the water in and it obviously does all the steam and everything, that gets so dirty. So like, I'm not saying you shouldn't have to clean it every time, like obviously you should, it's like your child, but the amount of dirt and the effort that has to go into it, you have to like soak like the sterilizer cleaner in, and then that takes ages. So if you've already got like another bout of bottles needing to go in because it's not the biggest, you've then got to wait for that. And yeah, it was just a ball ache. Go and get the Milton cold water sterilizer. I don't know why I didn't listen. My best friend Emily told me to get it. Why I didn't listen, I don't know, but my god, go and get the Milton cold water sterilizer. Yeah, don't waste your money with Tommy Tippy electric sterilizer. Just don't do it. And we got it as part of like the prep machine bundle, so it kind of seemed silly to go and buy another one. And yeah, we suffered. We will not be suffering this time. The Snooze Cloud, which came with Tommy's snooze pod, like it's fine. It's in his room now. It's literally like looking at me there, but he falls asleep quicker now. And he likes it. He comes into bed and he's like, Cloud, Cloud. But it only stays on for 15 minutes and then time's off. So obviously when we were trying to get him to sleep and soothe him, it would take a bit longer and then it would stop, and then it's almost like you have to start the process again. Whereas we've got one now, well, we've got two. We've got the Dream Egg noise machine, which will play for 12 hours if you want it to, or we have the Newbie Penguin one where it plays for half an hour, but if the baby stirs or it can like detect motion or anything, it comes back on, whereas the Snooze Cloud doesn't do that. So we've got two other options there, and Tommy's got the Snooze Cloud in his room anyway. So yeah, if it comes as part of the package, use it, but I would suggest having a backup. But yeah, I just wouldn't recommend it. Next up, this might be quite a controversial one, which is a chest of drawers. I actually hated having a chest of drawers for Tommy's clothes. It really annoyed me. Like, I just felt like you couldn't see, and I did organise it really well. Don't think it's just like use error. I just felt like you'd maybe like separate into all its boxes, and then you'd have like not enough leggings, so that one wouldn't look full, but you wouldn't want to put something else in that compartment, and you just didn't want to mess it up. I just don't feel like you could see it all the time, so you'd have to like get it out to look at it, and yeah, it just didn't work for me. So we've obviously, Tommy's got this wardrobe in his room now, and his old wardrobe is still in the nursery, and we've actually hung baby boy stuff up now. So the top rail is newborn at the moment, and the second rail is up to 1 month, and I think it's going to work better. His like bedtime sleep suits, as I'm calling them, are in the organisers on the shelf and then in the drawer below, so that's kind of worked. And then his like nicer baby grows and clothes are hung up for me to see, so I think that's just a bit easier. But I'll let you know how it works. But a chest of drawers just didn't work for me. I didn't enjoy it. I don't recommend it, but each to their own, so don't come at me in the comments. It's just what worked for me. Next up was a baby carrier. Now, it's not a baby carrier per se that didn't work. There's two things to this. So I suffer with quite a bad back anyway. So the baby carrier didn't really work for me, but it worked for Adam like massively. But yeah, I found it really hurt my back when he got heavier. Like, I could do it when he was really small, but then he was so small he wasn't actually allowed to go in it at some points. So I kind of like, once he was big enough for it, it just played havoc with my back. And also we got given one, and it just wasn't really to like my vibe. It was like turquoise or something. It's actually, I think it might even still be in the loft. I was going to get it down to try and sell it, but we just haven't got around to getting everything out the loft yet. But yeah, I will probably sell that, so keep an eye out on my vintage for that. I know that's very, very like material or like materialistic, but like I'm very much like, I need everything to match. So we do have a new one. I got it in Aldi's baby event recently, and it's like a newbie one. It was like £25 and it's black and grey, so that just matches much better for me. So yeah. Next up, it's a beige Moses basket. So it's just like those bog standard like wicker ones. We got it from Aldi. It was like 25 quid. First up, Tommy hated the Moses basket, and I don't know whether that's because obviously being premature, he was so used to being like cocooned and in an incubator, and when he was in a cot he was cocooned, and then obviously we put him in a Moses basket, tons of space. So that's probably why. Also because it was like the beige and the wicker, it didn't really go with our house. I didn't think about that. And our house is predominantly grey and white, so this time round I've got, I don't think you class it as a Moses basket, but it's the baby Lou snug sleeper. So we've got that one, which you'll see in like my nesting video, I think, for the living room. So yeah, you'll see that. But I think obviously because I am currently 36 weeks, obviously this baby should be bigger than Tommy, and hopefully won't have the comfort of like the neonatal bit to contend with. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, this one does like the Moses basket. But yeah, it just didn't match with our house or anything, and it just stuck out like a sore thumb. So I've actually given that away. Well, I will be giving it away to my sister-in-law, because she's currently pregnant with a baby boy as well. It's all boys on this side of the family. But yeah, we are gifting that to her, and I think it's currently at my in-laws at the minute because we haven't actually seen them to give it to them. But I'm just, every time I find stuff we don't want and I'm not going to like sell, I just put it aside for her and we pop it in there. And then water wipes. Everyone was like, get water wipes, they're the best. So I stocked up like shitloads of them, and I thought they were shocking. I know they're called water wipes, but like, why do they need to be so wet? Like, guys, why? Just why do they need to be so wet? And they were just always cold, and I just hated using them on Tommy, so I quickly got rid of them and went to Pampers. I now use actually the Amazon ones, the Mama Bear ones. Honestly, switch over, because they are affordable, they're not too wet, they don't break, they're just the best. So get those. And then this is a very controversial one for me, because I absolutely love the pram as a single, but as a double it just doesn't work for me. So my eye candy as a double I won't be doing. I've actually got our double pram on order and waiting for it to be delivered. I actually ordered it at the baby show. But I was adamant we were going to have the eye candy as a double, and we were going to buy the set and make it a double, but it just doesn't work. Because when you make it a double, like, I'll insert a picture of it as a double so you get what I mean. So like when you put the bassinet and the seat, or the other way, like that, you lose your basket space, and then you can't hang a bag on your handle because either your baby or your toddler is going to be there. So you get no storage space whatsoever, you just lose it all, and that's kind of what I didn't want to do. So we've actually got the Baba Venus Prime Duo coming in black and tan. So I've still got the under storage, and I've still got the handle completely free to hang the bag on, or excuse me, hang anything that I want to hang on there. So yeah, I just really don't think it works as a double, which makes me so sad, because as a single and as a brand I bloody love eye candy. So I will still use my eye candy as a single. So Tommy goes to 3 days childcare, like the mixture between nursery and my parents and Adam's parents. So on those days, if I take baby boy out on his own, I will just take the eye candy as a single, and then on the days I've got the boys together, I will take the Baba Venus Prime Duo, because it has the newborn cocoon coming with it as well. So yeah, perfectly safe, all fine. But that's it. They are 8 items that I won't be using this time round. I don't think they were too controversial, but let me know in the comments items you're not going to use this time round, because I'd love to know. And whether they're like similar or anything like that, so please do let me know in the comments. But I hope you enjoyed this. Hope they marry up with yours as well. Again, no shade to these companies, it's just it hasn't worked for us. So yeah, I'm gonna go, and this will obviously be followed up at some point with items we will definitely be using for baby number 2. I'm probably going to film that next week whilst Tommy's at nursery, so I can get all the items together and show them to you, or film them and put like insert them. But yeah, I'm going to follow it up with the other side because I think it's important to show what we would use. But yes, I'm going to go because I have to go and have some lunch and get to a hospital appointment. And I will catch up with you guys in my next video. If you did enjoy it, please do consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.